Back to our top stories this afternoon, and on the line we take in this discussion further with Lawson Naidoo from KESAG. Mr. Naidoo, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through. Let's get your immediate reaction to the court's ruling.
Well, we welcome this decision of the High Court this morning. It was to be as expected because we felt that there was very little chance that Mr. Zuma would succeed in this application for leave to appeal the personal cost order that was handed down by the same High Court in December last year when he was still president. Mr. Zuma sought to review the Public Protector's State of Capture report, and the court described his action in that case as being reckless and without foundation. So it was really no surprise that the court rejected the application for leave to appeal today.
Yeah. What are we likely to see happen from the president's side?
Well, given his previous track record, we know that the president will certainly seek to try and appeal this to the Supreme Court of Appeal and to seek to leave to appeal from the SDA in this matter. An interesting aspect of this is that the state attorney has decided to fund this part of Mr. Zuma's appeal to the High Court today. In a separate matter, we are challenging that decision as well because we can see no reason why state funds should be used by Mr. Zuma in his personal private capacity to challenge a decision of court in this way. Yeah,
just remind us specifically about this particular case. So, does it mean that these costs include the Nkandla case and the public protector case?
Well, this matter relates purely to the former president's attempt to review the public protector's report into state of capture, where he was arguing that he should be entitled at his sole discretion to appoint the judge to head the Commission of Inquiry. Having been defeated in the High Court in December last year, Mr. Zuma, when he was still president in January, then instituted the State Capture Commission of Inquiry under the leadership of Deputy Chief Justice Zondo. So, having acted on the decision of the High Court, we felt that the matter was moot and was not deserving of hearing an appeal.
All right. So this means that he will now be personally liable for the 10 million rands in legal fees. Is that so?
Well, we don't know what the calculation of the legal fees in this matter would come to, but we are aware that there were 8 respondents in the matter, so there were several legal teams involved, and the final amounts that will need to be calculated in terms of the costs that are applicable in this case. But the costs were ordered on a punitive scale, given the recklessness with which Jacob Zuma pursued this matter in the first place.
Yeah, but we see that the court also made some damning findings against the former president, Mr. Naidoo, saying that he was still the president when everything happened. This, of course, included that he had acted recklessly when he launched the attack on this report.
Indeed, that was the decision of the High Court in December. In this matter, the president also delayed extraordinarily because, we're aware that he resigned as president in February this year and should then immediately have instituted this action if he wanted to set aside the personal cost order. But he waited until June this year before launching that application. And in today's judgment, the court also dismissed his application for the condemnation of the late filing of the notice. And so he lost on several grounds in court today.
Yeah, and we do know that, of course, the former president is also facing a DA-led court challenge against the government's decision to foot his bills. What's this one saying? What's this particular one saying about this DA-led court case as well and, the justice system going forward?
Well, I think these are, very, very separate cases. So today's matter was purely on the hearing the application for leave to appeal the personal cost order in the state of review case. The DA and EFF matters are separate issues that relate to the criminal charges that Mr. Zuma is facing for fraud and corruption, and the EFF case is specifically about payments that were made to the president's personal lawyer, Mr. Michael Hulley.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much there to Lawson Naidoo. He is Executive Secretary of CASAC, of course, talking to us about former President Jacob Zuma's application for leave to appeal that has been dismissed by the North Gauteng High Court